Welcome to Dataverse by Nino Powell, everyone. This is episode 31.
Excited to be here for this one.
Yeah, me too. So today we're really bridging this massive gap between AI hype and enterprise reality. Because, well, picture this. Imagine you spend like 6 months and $500,000 building this state-of-the-art AI tool.
Oh, yeah. A classic scenario.
Right. And it works flawlessly on your laptop. I mean, it answers every prompt. It organizes your test data perfectly, and the board is just thrilled.
I think they've solved everything.
Exactly. But then you plug it into your company's actual chaotic real-world data,
Yeah.
and you just watch it immediately break.
Yeah, it hallucinates, it violates compliance.
And the project is just quietly shelved, never to be spoken of again.
Yep. Happens all the time.
It really does. And that is basically the grounding context for our deep dive today. Because research from MIT actually indicates a staggering 95% of AI pilots fail to advance beyond a simple proof of concept.
It's a brutal statistic.
95%. So looking at those numbers, I mean, why is this failure rate so astronomical?
Yeah.
And, how do we actually cross that chasm?
Well, the primary reason that 95% of these initiatives die is it's really a profound misunderstanding of the environment itself.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, the underlying AI models aren't actually the problem. The core technology works. But there's this fundamental psychological and structural divide between how engineers build a pilot and what a business actually requires.
Oh, right. Because they're building in a bubble.
Exactly. Engineers build for perfection in a controlled sandbox. They curate the data, they control all the variables, and they focus purely on whether the technology can perform the task.
But the real world isn't a sandbox.
Not at all. Operational enterprise AI demands resilience in chaos. It isn't just about answering a prompt, it's about auditable processes, secure data pipelines, and, board-ready returns at scale.
Right.
The 95% fail because they just lack structured deployment frameworks and defensible return on investment models.
That makes a lot of sense when you frame it as a clash of environments. I like to think of it like an analogy. An AI pilot is like cooking a great meal in your home kitchen.
Yeah,
Right?
low pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But enterprise AI is like running a 500-seat commercial restaurant during the dinner rush.
that is exactly it.
But, I mean, if the models are widely accessible and commoditized now, why is building that commercial restaurant so hard for these enterprises?
Because it's not about the recipe anymore, it's about the plinging. The constraints are deployment frameworks, defensible ROI, governance, and infrastructure. And to really look at this, we should focus on a market that's hitting this exact inflection point.
Right. Which brings us to Sri Lanka. We're using Sri Lanka as our lens today, specifically looking at the upcoming AI Catalyst Symposium 2026 in Colombo.
Yeah.
So why zoom in on this specific market right now?
Because emerging economies like Sri Lanka, they serve as the perfect microcosm for this global struggle. If you look at the Microsoft AI Diffusion report by the end of 2025, only about 6.6% of the workforce in Sri Lanka was actively using generative AI tools.
Wow, 6.6%. And the global average was what, around 16%?
Yeah, closer to 16. Now, just to clarify for everyone, generative AI or Gen AI refers to systems that can create text, code, or analysis from, massive amounts of training data.
Like the stuff everyone's talking about.
Exactly. But here is the critical pivot. By the end of 2026, over 80% of global enterprises will be deploying Gen AI or integrating AI APIs.
Which are basically the digital bridges that let different software talk to each other.
Right. So that jump from 6.6% adoption to an 80% global deployment mandate, that creates a massive pressure cooker.
Oh, absolutely.
And Sri Lanka has this highly capable technical workforce. They're deeply embedded in sectors like BFSI banking, financial services, and insurance, as well as logistics and healthcare.
Really critical sectors.
Yeah, sectors where AI is no longer hypothetical. It's a strategic target for global AI investments.
And the cost of sitting on the sidelines while that shift happens is just severe.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, the listener, the compounding cost of delay is the real threat here.
It's permanent.
Exactly. Every single quarter that a competitor runs an AI-enabled procurement system or like a customer intelligence system in production, while you are still testing your sandbox pilot, you are losing efficiency gains and labor hour recoveries that you can literally never get back.
Yeah, and that is the true inflection point. The private sector there has this golden window to adopt AI properly and put the country on the global AI map, but they have to move past the hype. They have to focus on the governance, the security, the actual deployment mechanics.
Which brings us directly to how you actually force that shift from AI awareness to AI production. And that introduces the AI Catalyst Symposium.
Right.
So this event is taking place on June 12, 2026 at Cinnamon Life in Colombo. and it's an invitation-only gathering for CXOs.
So we're talking chief executive, financial, and operations officers.
Right. It's co-presented by Ninopol and Amazon Web Services, AWS.
Yeah.
And they're building this around 4 main differentiator pillars.
Yeah, let's go through those.
Okay, so you've got live agentic AI demos, enterprise-grade production running entirely on AWS, Sri Lanka First Intelligence, which means it's grounded in local business realities, not just global templates and board-ready ROI frameworks.
Right.
Basically, CFO-ready models.
Right. Which is crucial.
Wait, okay, let's unpack this for a second, because as someone who has seen a lot of tech conferences, and I'm sure you have too, this sounds suspiciously like a giant high-budget vendor pitch.
I hear that.
I mean, most AI conferences are just generic vendor panels and polished slide decks. How does a skeptical CFO know this isn't just a massive sales presentation?
Well, that skepticism is entirely warranted because that's the exact trap most conferences fall into. They just showcase what could work in some theoretical future.
Right, exactly.
But this symposium is explicitly built to reverse that model. To even be featured on the stage on June 12th, the system must already be running in production.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah. They are not allowing sandbox prototypes, period.
Okay, that's a big distinction.
It's massive. Every framework presented comes from a verified deployment with measurable financial outcomes. They aren't demoing what could work. They are demoing what is working safely with messy, real-world data.
Okay, I want to test that claim then. Let's dig into the actual mechanisms of the tools they are showcasing. The source material calls these the 4 horsemen of their live enterprise demos.
It's a dramatic name, but it fits.
It really does. So let's start with the first one, Rapid Quote AI. This automates the quoting cycle, right?
Yeah, it's commercial and quotation intelligence.
Right, so it extracts RFQ requests for quotation requirements, maps them to SKUs, and applies pricing rules. They claim it delivers quotes in under 45 minutes, which is a 3x faster response and 75% less proposal effort.
Those are the metrics, yeah?
But mechanically, how is this any different from like traditional automation software that just reads a spreadsheet?
So the mechanism is where the real breakthrough happens, because traditional software relies on rigid templates. So if a supplier sends an email that's formatted strangely, or they use a weird abbreviation for a product, traditional parsing software just breaks. It throws an error.
It needs it to be perfect.
Exactly. But Rapid Quote uses agentic AI. So instead of following a rigid path, it acts more like a digital agent capable of reasoning.
Interesting.
Yeah, it reads the chaotic, unstructured email from the supplier, figures out the semantic intent behind the messy text, and maps it to the correct internal inventory code without needing a template at all.
Wow, so it's like turning a week-long chaotic email chain into a fast food drive-through order.
That's a great way to put it. It handles the ambiguity of human communication, which eliminates so much expensive friction for operations leaders.
Okay, so that leads us to the second showcase. Inside IQ Executive AI. This is billed as decision intelligence.
Right.
And the claim is that it converges data across subsidiaries to answer questions in plain language, delivering same-day board packs, 78% faster decisions, and 75% less reporting effort. How is it pulling this off without just being another massive, clunky dashboard?
Because it abandons the dashboard concept almost entirely.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I mean, in a traditional enterprise, data is completely siloed. Logistics uses one software, finance uses another, HR is on something else entirely.
Oh, yeah. It's always a nightmare to connect them.
Right. So usually if a CEO wants a report, analysts have to manually pull from all three, clean it, and build a report. But Inside IQ connects directly to those disparate databases.
So no middleman.
Exactly. An executive types a plain language question, and the AI writes the database queries on the fly. It translates the raw data across silos and synthesizes an answer in seconds.
That is wild. It brings a whole new level of agility to the C-suite.
It really does.
All right, the third showcase focuses on the customer layer, Support Flow AI. This handles omni-channel intelligence, WhatsApp, email, voice with multilingual support.
Right.
And the numbers are 247 coverage, 0 SLA breaches, and 65% faster resolution. For those listening, an SLA is a service level agreement, basically the strict time limit you have to respond to a customer.
Yes, very strict.
So how does an AI handle complex customer service without hallucinating and giving out, like, completely wrong refund policies?
Well, it shifts the paradigm from answering everything to managing exceptions.
Okay.
Support Flow is grounded entirely in the company's specific documentation. It's not pulling answers from the open internet.
That's a relief.
Yeah. So when a routine query comes in, checking a shipment, updating an address, it executes it instantly. But the moment it detects ambiguity or maybe an angry customer tone or a request outside its strict confidence threshold,
It hands it off.
instantly,
Okay.
it routes the entire context of the conversation to a human agent. That is how they maintain zero SLA breaches. The AI handles the 60% of low complexity stuff, freeing up humans for actual relationship management.
Got it. Which transitions us to the fourth and final showcase, and this is the one I really want to challenge you on.
Bring it on.
Omniflow Intelligence AI. It processes invoices, compliance docs, approvals. The numbers report 87% faster processing, 92% extraction accuracy, and near zero errors. But listen, if this AI is handling highly sensitive financial and compliance data, 92% accuracy means it is failing 8% of the time.
That's the math, yeah.
And in finance and logistics, an 8% error rate could mean millions of dollars misallocated. So is 92% actually good enough to impress a CFO? Or is that exactly why these tools get stuck in pilot mode?
That is a fantastic pushback, and it's exactly the question that keeps things stuck in pilots. But the answer comes down to understanding the human baseline.
Okay, what do you mean?
You have to compare that 92% against manual data entry. Humans doing repetitive extraction across finance are notoriously error-prone. We suffer from fatigue, we transpose numbers, we miss compliance flags.
That's true. Humans aren't 100% accurate either.
Far from it. So OmniFlow outperforms that human baseline in raw speed by 87%. But more importantly, the system is designed with rigorous exception handling.
Like the customer service one?
Exactly. Any data point in that 8% where the AI isn't completely confident, it's instantly flagged and paused for human review.
Ah, so that's where the near zero processing errors metric comes from.
Yes. It doesn't guess when it's unsure, it just asks for help. By safely routing those exceptions, you eliminate massive operational bottlenecks without introducing reckless errors.
Okay, so it's not about being omnipotent. It's about being incredibly fast while knowing exactly when to raise its hand and ask a human.
Precisely.
But, I mean, if OmniFlow is routing all these sensitive financial documents, my mind immediately goes to data security. A 92% extraction rate doesn't matter if your proprietary financial data is leaking back into some public language model.
No, absolutely not. You cannot run this kind of secure operation on a standard laptop or a basic commercial server.
Right, which brings us to the engine room, the infrastructure.
The infrastructure is the absolute bottleneck for most enterprises, but everything demonstrated at this symposium is backed by AWS, utilizing Ninopol's specific credentials.
Right, and the source mentions Ninopol holds the AWS generative and agentic AI competency.
Yes, and to understand how selective that is, out of over 100,000 global AWS partners, less than 1% hold this specific competency.
Wait, less than 1%?
It's less than 1%. It requires this exhaustive technical audit by AWS to verify that the partner can deliver GenAI safely at enterprise scale. And on top of that, the solutions run on AWS Bedrock and Agent Core, built with ISO 27001 1.2022 and SOC2 security.
Okay, let's pause on SOC2 for a second, because I know that term terrifies a lot of tech startups.
Oh, it really does.
Why is SOC2 compliance the ultimate deciding factor for a CFO when they're evaluating these tools?
Because it's not just a one-time checklist. SOC2 is a rigorous, ongoing auditing procedure. It proves that the AI is not learning from your proprietary data and sharing it with other companies.
Ah, the privacy nightmare.
Exactly. For CFO, SOC2 proves that enterprise security is the foundation of the AI, not just something bolted onto the side as an afterthought.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, because I see a bit of a contradiction here.
Oh, how so?
Well, Ninopol advertises a rapid 4 to 6 week delivery model, right? From concept to production ready. They have over 300 production deployments driving $750 million in financial impact.
Yeah, those are incredible numbers.
They are. But if enterprise security and SOC2 compliance and handling all that exception routing is so incredibly difficult, how on earth is a 4 to 6 week delivery model realistic? Doesn't that kind of speed contradict the safety they're promising?
It absolutely would contradict safety if they were building from scratch, but they aren't.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Building your own AI infrastructure from the ground up right now is like insisting on generating your own electricity before you plug in your servers.
Oh, I see.
It's incredibly dangerous, it's expensive, and it takes forever. AWS has already built the highly secure power grid. They have the foundational compliance architectures through services like AWS Bedrock.
So Nenopal speed comes from.
From building the specific appliances that plug directly into that pre-secured grid. And actually, one of the primary educational goals of the symposium for attendees is a build versus buy decision framework.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it shows architects exactly when to leverage this pre-built, highly secure infrastructure, the buy side, to accelerate safely, and when they actually need to build something custom in-house to avoid massive technical debt.
That completely reframes the timeline for me. Because if the foundation is already audited and secure, you're just customizing the workflow on top of that.
Exactly. You're not reinventing the wheel.
Right. But, even with flawless technology and elite infrastructure and a rapid framework, if the human leadership isn't aligned, the initiative still fails.
Every single time. The human element is often the hardest part to engineer.
Yeah. And if we look at the structural gaps in Sri Lanka, we're talking about scalable cloud outside major cities, national governance frameworks, preparing a future-ready workforce.
Yeah, you cannot solve those issues inside a single corporate boardroom.
Which explains the speaker lineup for the symposium.
Right. It's very deliberate.
You've got Biswajit Das, the AWS head of India specialists and AI data go-to-market strategy, delivering the keynote, bringing 20 years of insight.
Yeah, massive experience.
You have Pavel Gupta, co-founder of Nenopal, speaking on his 300-plus deployments. And crucially, Chanaki Malakarachi, the director of ICT at the Ministry of Digital Economy.
Yes.
So what does this all mean? If I'm a corporate executive just trying to automate my supply chain, why do I care about a national digital agenda?
Okay, step back and look at the bigger picture. We talked about the electricity grid, right?
Yeah.
If these massive AI systems need national infrastructure to run effectively, the government absolutely has to be in the room. Government alignment directly changes the risk calculus for corporate boards.
Because it provides a safety net.
Exactly. When national governance and enterprise infrastructure align, it provides the psychological safety required to approve massive capital expenditures for AI. The country is moving in the same direction as your investment.
Right, which ties perfectly into a specific session at the event called The True Cost of AI, evaluating total ownership cost for CFOs.
Yeah, moving way beyond just pilot metrics.
And the ultimate takeaway for the listener, if you attend, is walking away with a sector-specific, board-ready AI roadmap and a vetted peer network.
Right. Sitting in a room with peers facing the exact same infrastructure hurdles and compliance fears. It compresses years of trial and error into a single day.
So, to synthesize this whole journey today, we started by confronting the reality that 95% of AI pilots fail because they're built for sandboxes, not enterprise reality.
Yep.
We explored how tools like RapidQuote and OmniFlow navigate that chaos through agentic AI and exception handling, running on AWS infrastructure. And we used the AI Catalyst Symposium on June 12 as this ultimate playbook for moving from awareness to undeniable production.
It's a huge shift, and I'd leave you, the listener, with one final thought.
Go for it.
Consider the shadow cost of hesitation.
Ooh, the shadow cost.
Yeah. If an AI system deployed by your competitor today permanently redefines their profit margins, are you currently evaluating your AI strategy based on what you hope to gain? Or are you blind to the market share you're actively losing right now?
Wow. An incredibly powerful question to leave off on. The cost of doing nothing is definitely no longer zero.
Not at all.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this gave you the clarity and the edge you need as you navigate your own AI journey. Until next time, keep exploring and keep building.